Thank you so much, Praveen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings and regards from the land of Lord Jagannath. This particular deliberation would be divided into two parts. One is the why of it, when I would be giving you the reasoning of why do you need to sharpen your skills, which are already phenomenal, I'm certain. And then in the next segment, I would try to give you some templates based on which you can chart your course to advance in sharpening your skills. So these are the two segments in which we would be talking about it. In every entrepreneur's life, if you look at the curve, there are three stages of any curve, a bell curve in particular. There is a stage where it goes up, that's a growth phase, and then it meets a plateau stage, and then it starts coming down. As an entrepreneur, you would definitely not like to see the right part of the curve, but remember, there is no part of that curve which is the plateau stage. If you have reached the plateau stage and you're not growing, then in financial terms and in industry terms, you're actually degrowing. So it's a constant growth compared to the last year's performance is what is going to keep you going. So how would you achieve that how would you achieve a constant growth is, you have to have a footfall of new patients requiring surgical assistance coming to you. And how would those new patient pool be built up is based on the word of mouth spread from the old lot. And how would the old lot recommend your name to the new lot who are aspiring to come to an ophthalmologist is based on visible and invisible factors. What are those invisible factors first? Are the soft skills of that institute and you as a surgeon. Communication, marketing, counseling, how established you are as a leader in your team, and punctuality. You don't keep them waiting. These are all invisible factors which ultimately play a role, but that's beyond the purview of this particular discussion. What we are focusing on is the hard skills, out of which the clinical acumen is something we'll leave aside. We will just focus on the surgical skills. Now, the patient always gets a good memory or keeps a good memory of the time he spent inside the OT based on the duration of the surgery and the finesse. They might not know that you're a fast surgeon, but ultimately it adds on to the experience that they've had when they were lying down on the table, because these are nervous moments, not only for the surgeon, but also for the patient. So this is the why part of it. Now let's come to the how, where I would like to give you some templates. The incision in phaco, I know there are plenty of people who would like to stick to the 2.8 platform, and some of you might already be doing it, but I would recommend that everybody transgresses to the 2.2 as early as possible, because remember, the centrard concept, even if it's to the tune of 0.5, does not hold good when the incision size is more than 2.4. So 2.2 platform is where you should be there, and when you're creating the incision, just remember that you have to make it as squarish as possible inside the OT. So there are a few mechanical factors playing a role in there, including the sharpness of the blades. Make sure that you've got all the ingredients right. The CCC, while we were students, while we were postgraduates learning the skills of CCC, we were told that CCC is a circle in which you have got four corners and then the parts which are running approximately straight. So these four corners you have to apply centripetal, then the other parts you have to apply a centrifugal force. Forget all that. CCC should be looked at a piece of canvas, which is the anterior capsule. You're given a pencil or a brush, which is a cystitome needle, and you have to draw a circle on that canvas. Forget about the factors, the counteracting factors, the acting factors, everything. Here is a canvas, and you're drawing a circle, which should be approximately 5, stationed centrally, and look circular. That's how aesthetically it looks good, that's how you become faster, and that's how the bag is ready for receiving the implants, premium or non-premium, whatever may be the case. Now, there are situations wherein the CCC becomes a little more difficult, and in fact, because of that apprehension, a lot of surgeons prefer to stay away from phaco just because the CCC is difficult, but these are not. Once you learn that, again, it's a canvas, make the canvas ready, such as this intermittent cataract, where the canvas is not ready for you to draw a circle on. So make it ready by pushing out all the fluid that's there inside, form the AC with visco, flatten it out, and then you can draw the circle, maybe with a cystitome, maybe with a pair of forceps, whatever is your instrument of choice. Next, coming to the hydro procedures, you've been told that you do multi-point, small injections of water, bellot the nucleus to express the fluid out. All that can be concised into one single step. Liberate the fluid from one side, express the fluid from the other, repeat the procedure if likely, and rotate the nucleus. I would always advise you to rotate the nucleus because that would ensure that the nucleus is free, and then you can proceed with your phaco procedures. It takes hardly 10 seconds. More than that, if you keep on liberating fluid, you know that you're not doing it properly. It shouldn't require more than that time. When we start our nucleus management, this is what we do. We draw, we first do the primary trench, then do the secondary trench, and then make it a cross and do a typical divide and conquer as we've been told. But what gets compromised in the process is the CDE count, which is essentially the energy that you're using in the process. As you grow from 4 quadrants to stop and chop, which I'm sure many people use, in fact, majority of the phaco surgeons in India, this is my experience, do retort to the stop and chop procedure, which is fantastic. I've got nothing against it, but the CDE count, the energy count just goes up a klitch when you do that. Your objective is from a 4 quadrant to stop and chop to arrive at this stage where you do a direct chop. I know there's a learning curve involved, but if you've got the mechanics right, then it divides very fast. And what you see in the process happening is you gain substantially when it comes to the energy expenditure count. This is an unedited video, which I'm showing to you. It's not even been sped up. 1.20, and this is not a very soft cataract, as you can see. 2.50 or 56 is the CDE count by the time we are through with almost half of the nucleus. The rest half will also come out. These are patients wherein you don't even need to give a postoperative corticosteroid. You can manage with a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agent as well, which is basically, and then you go to these stages where you have all sorts of difficult situations peeping at you, a small pupil, a hard cataract. You don't need any expansion devices in there, just when your mechanics are right. Cortex aspiration, again, the teaching is you catch hold of the cortex and strip it to the center and see what you're aspirating. I would say that for 99% of the time, this is what you should be doing. Of course, if you are too adventurous, then you can do it with the phaco needle as well, but that should be kept for later when you really know that you're there right at the top of the platform to be able to do this properly. A lot of things are required. You need a very good microscope as well, which will give you the exact depth where you are. So these are little things which you can do to modify or enhance your finesse, thereby reducing the time, giving the patient less energy, keeping the tissues at ease, and ultimately they go back from you being happy with whatever they experienced, and the word of mouth spreads in favor of your name. Thank you so much. I'll not go to the IL implantation, which of course you should be doing more and more under irrigation. And this is something I would encourage everybody to practice, because that's one thing wherein actually the technical expertise goes up a few notches. Thank you.